Hi, I'm Alex Willan, and I'm going to be reading my book, Yetis Are the Worst, for the Barnes & Noble Storytime, and I hope you enjoy it. Here you can see on the cover that Gilbert the Goblin has got his umbrella covered in snow. Meanwhile, a few of the Yetis are peering on from behind the mountain. And on the end pages, we just see some footprints in the snow. Looks like a Yeti might have passed through here. And on the title page it says Yetis are the worst, and there's a sign that says Gilbert's Secret Hideout. And a bunch of other signs that say nothing to see here, keep out. But Gilbert's saying, psst, over here. So I think it's safe to go inside. So inside we see Gilbert holding a flashlight up to his face, and he says, "Did you know that we goblins can be quite mysterious? We lurk in the shadows." And we see Gilbert hiding in the shadows, spying on Chicken, who's stealing some of his cookies. We pop up in unexpected places. We see Gilbert has somehow managed to get inside of a claw machine. And there's a little sock slug back there. He says, and we're masters of disguise. It's me, Gilbert. And yet, people seem to be intrigued by one curious creature more than any other. Do you know what creature that might be? Yetis! And we see Gilbert has a whole map drawn of his neighborhood. There's Gilbert and his house, the unicorn meadow, the troll bridge, the fancy troll bridge, the dragon cave, and then up here in the mountains he has some spots where he thinks people have spotted Yetis. And Gilbert says, "Now I know what you're going to say." And we see Gilbert's drawing of the outline of a Yeti. And it says, Yetis are so cool and mysterious, etc., etc. Gilbert says, but plenty of things are just as mysterious as Yetis. And we see him grabbing a file that says top secret out of his filing cabinet. And inside that file it says most mysterious things. And Gilbert says, like tooth fairies. What does she do with all those teeth? Gnomes. How do they get their hats so pointy? Peanut butter and banana sandwiches. Why are they so tasty? And of course, goblins. We see a picture of Gilbert. It says, how are they so clever? How are they always so fashionable? There's no way that Yetis are more mysterious than goblins, and I'm going to prove it. So Gilbert grabs his coat and his camera, and he leaves his secret hideout, and he heads towards the mountain. And he says, the only reason that people think Yetis are mysterious is because no one has ever seen one. And the sign says, more mountain. And Gilbert says, so that's what I'm going to do. Now it says, still more mountain. I'm going to find a Yeti, take their picture, thus proving that there's nothing mysterious about these fluffy, mountain-dwelling behemoths. But if you notice, there's already a Yeti peeking out from behind the tree who spotted Gilbert, but Gilbert doesn't see him. So Gilbert sees what looks like a Yeti in the distance, and he says, look at that, mere minutes into my search, and I've already spotted a Yeti. So he takes out his camera to take a picture as the actual Yeti looks on, confused. He says, and now to capture it on film, proof of the so-called mysterious flash. He takes the picture, and the picture turns out to be a shrubbery? So it's just a bush that kind of looks like a Yeti. And Gilbert says, okay, so that wasn't a Yeti. Not a problem. There's bound to be one around here somewhere. I just need to go further up the mountain. And now there's not one, but two Yetis following Gilbert. Gilbert goes further up the mountain, and again he sees in the distance what looks like a Yeti. And he says, aha, now that is definitely a Yeti. And now he takes the picture as now three Yetis are following him. And he says, at long last, everyone will know the truth about flash. He takes the picture, and the picture turns out to be an ice carving bunny. And now all of the Yetis are watching Gilbert. And Gilbert walks across the mountain, and he says, that's fine, I'm not upset. Tired? Sure. Freezing? Absolutely. But I'm not leaving this mountain until I've found an actual Yeti. Flash. He takes a picture. So that people far and wide will finally know the truth about flash. He takes another picture. The very boring creature that is flash. He takes a third picture. And those three pictures turn out to be a polar bear getting a makeover? A meditating mountain goat? A snowboarding unicorn in a puffy jacket? Gilbert throws the pictures in the air. He says, "That's it. I give up. Why is it so hard to find one single Yeti on this whole mountain?" And, all the Yetis are picking up the pictures behind him. He says, "Just one Yeti. Is that too much to ask?" Apparently it is. It is too much to ask. And do you know why? Because Yetis are the worst, Gilbert shouts. They're still not noticing the Yetis right next to him. But do you know what happens when you make a really loud noise on top of a snowy mountain? Rumble, rumble, rumble. The snow starts to shake behind Gilbert, and all he can say is, "Uh-oh." "Avalanche," Gilbert shouts as he runs down the mountain. "Run for your lives, oof!" And he trips over a sign that reads, "Secret Yeti Hideout?" And he tumbles down into the opening of the hideout. And it turns out the reason it's so hard to spot a Yeti is because they all live deep inside the mountain. And we see inside the mountain there's all these rooms with Yetis cooking, playing music, reading the newspaper, taking a nap. And we see Gilbert tumbling down inside. And for the first time, Gilbert's confronted by the Yetis as one bends over and picks up his camera. And all Gilbert can say is, "Gulp," because he doesn't know what the Yetis are going to do. But do you know what the Yeti does? He takes a selfie with Gilbert. And Gilbert says, "Like I said, Yetis aren't so mysterious. They're just a little shy. At least, until they're not." And then in the end, we see Gilbert hanging out with his new friends, the Yetis, having all sorts of fun, building a snowman, ice skating, sledding, and that is how Gilbert became friends with the Yetis. The end. So that's my book, Yetis Are the Worst. Thank you so much, and see you next time.